Hello and welcome back students in today's lecture. In our previous lecture we have discussed about Newton's second law of motion, and from that law we have derived the formula of force and its unit. Now today we are going to discuss about applications of Newton's second law of motion in our daily life. So let's see the first example, taking a catch. I am sure that you all must have played cricket in your life. If not the cricket, then at least catching the ball you have played. Okay. So when you have to catch a ball, generally what you do? You put your hands up or down. When the ball is coming towards you, you put your hands a little down. You push them a little back. Okay. That you can understand from this diagram, this figure. Okay. So you have seen that in cricket also, when players are playing cricket, when they have to catch a ball, they are putting their hands down. Here you can see the ball is coming towards catcher and he is pulling the hands down and holding the ball. Why they are doing like this? They are doing that because from Newton's second law, force equals to change in momentum upon time, which is rate of change of momentum. Okay. So what is the basic thing here? Force equals to change in momentum upon time. That means if we increase the time, the force will decrease. If suppose the momentum is conserved, momentum is constant, so that means force is inversely proportional to time. I hope you all know what is inversely proportional and what is directly proportional. When two things are directly proportional, so if one thing increases, second thing also increases. Okay, in both of them change will be in same direction. But if two things are inversely proportional, the change in them will be in opposite direction. If one thing will increase, other thing will decrease. So here, because the time is denominator, okay, so with force the time is in inversely proportional relation. So if time will increase, the force will decrease. So when the fielder is pulling his hand or her hand backward direction, so what they are doing, they are actually increasing the time to hold the ball. Okay, the ball must be having some or other momentum. Okay, so when the fielder is increasing the time, by increasing that time from the Newton's second law, the force will be decreased. So the force applied by ball on catcher's hand will decrease, and that's why he will not get hurt. Okay, if he suddenly catch the ball, then what happen? Because the time is less, that's why the force applied will be more, and the fielder or the person who is catching the ball will get hurt. But when they increase the time to catch the ball, they basically decrease the force, and that's why the force applied by ball in their hand will decrease and they will not get hurt so much. Then here is second example, falling off a high jumper on soft bed. Okay, so you have experienced this, that when you fall on a soft bed or mattress or on sand, you don't get that much hurt in comparison with when you get fall on hard floor. So what is the reason behind that? The reason is that when you are falling, you are in motion, and when you fall on something, you have to come at rest. Okay, when you fall on a hard floor, you come at rest suddenly. Okay, but when you fall on a soft bed or on sand, to come at rest you will take some time. Okay, when you fall on a mattress or a soft bed, you suddenly don't come at rest, but you have to manage yourself. You take some time to come at rest, and that time decrease the amount of force you experienced. And that's why when you fall on a soft bed or on sand, you don't get that much hurt. Okay. Then third application is breaking a pile of bricks in a single blow. See, when showman breaks a pile of brick in a single blow, what they do? They suddenly apply force on the bricks. So when they are doing it suddenly, the time decreases. Okay. When the time decreases, the amount of force which is applied on the bricks increases, and that's why they are able to break the bricks easily. They do it suddenly. Okay, suddenly they apply the force on that, so the amount of force increases, and that's why they pile of bricks breaks. The chinawares or the utensils made up of glass, okay, glasswares, they all are packed with soft material. Why? Because see, chinawares and glassware, they are breakable materials. If a little force is applied on them, they may break. So when we have to transport them from one place to another place, what we do? We wrap it in paper or straw or air bubble sheet to avoid any breakage during transportation. And how this breakage help? Okay, the packed ware collide due to jerks during transportation, but the soft packing materials reduce the rate of change of momentum. Okay. From this formula you can see, to decrease the amount of force, two things we can do. Either we can increase the time or we can decrease the rate of change of momentum. If the rate of change of momentum is less, then also the force experienced will be less. So here in this case what happened? Here no role of time is there. Okay. Here the rate of change of momentum reduced because of that bubble sheet etc., and that's why the amount of force applied on the glassware or chinaware decreases and they do not break. Similarly, seventh point you can see, providing springs in car seat. In car seat springs are there, they also reduce the rate of change of momentum, and that's why they reduce the amount of force and we do not get hurt. Okay. Stopping slowly after finishing a race. Whenever any athlete wins a race, see, initially they are running very fast, but when they are stopping very slowly. Why? Because they are increasing the time here. If they suddenly comes at rest, okay, the amount of force will be very much, they get jerk and they can hurt themselves. That's why after finishing the race, athletes or cars or bikes, they stop very slowly so that the time will increase and the force will decrease, the impact of force will decrease and they will be safe. So these are some application of Newton's second law of motion. This is it for first part of today's lecture. Now in second part we will discuss about Newton's third law of motion.